Hello guys, today is Speed and Power, and I'm going to be going over the 19 Delta Cavalry Scouts of the Department of the Army. So first section, the Cavalry Scouts. Let's just go over their culture real quick. So they wear spurs on their boots, and they drink grog. Grog is the most tasty beverage you could ever taste, to be honest. And they're better than the infantry, to be honest. Sometimes you just gotta know who's number one, but the cavalry is the best. So overall, they're the best MOS. That's just their culture, and they have a really competitive one. And they're not really wrong about most of it. Now let's go to their actual job. Okay, if you actually thought I was done talking about the culture of Cav Scouts, you're sadly mistaken. So first off, they worship Satan. They kind of are Satan. If you're not a Cav Scout, then you're basically nothing to them. Except if you're, a combat medic, but that's an exception. And also, you don't have to ask if they're a Cav Scout. You're gonna know in the first, 5 seconds. You're gonna hear it from 50 miles away, I swear to God. If you go anywhere near Georgia or any, state I don't know, Hawaii, Cali, places like that, you're gonna know, dude, if you're even in a 50-mile radius of a Cav Scout, you're gonna know because they yell so damn loud that they're Cav Scouts. It's just how they are. That's just how they are, man. So let's get into the actual job of the cavalry. So they provide reconnaissance for the infantry and the tankers to go get. So without the cavalry, the infantry would just be going in like a bunch of toddlers into a rainforest full of snakes. So, yeah, that's kind of what they do. But they also kill people. Yeah, I didn't think people know that, but yeah, they actually go in with strikers and Bradley's the most infamous cavalry fighting vehicle of all time. So they go with that, and they're light, cavalry. Yeah, they're light cavalry. They're basically just infantrymen, but they're cavalry, so they're better. They go in and they, mark places, mark specific areas of high, contact. And then they send the infantry or the tankers go do it, but in reality, the cavalry just goes and do their job for them. Kills, most of everyone. And leave, telling, basically what the infantry and the tankers need to do that they did not. So that's just kind of how an average battle with the cavalry goes out. The cavalry is just for reconnaissance and then striking. The cavalry mainly just, kills everyone, then leaves the infantry to do it. I already said that. But, yeah, that's kind of what the cavalry does. And they are the first ones to combat. Now we're going to the living conditions. Living conditions, to start off, are terrible. They're absolutely trash. You're going to be sitting in a Bradley, you're going to be, waking up for... You're going to have 4 hours of sleep, then go back, and then do more ruck marches and stuff like that. It's going to suck as a cavalry, but at least you're going to look cool doing it. So, you're going to have to do that for 20 years if you want to retire, but... it's worth it, I guess, because you can be a recruiter, you can re-enlist as that. Not re-enlist, but you can change your job to that, or a drill sergeant for, the rest of your career. What they do is, if you're not married, you live in a barracks, and that's not so bad. But then you also have to do the normal cavalry stuff and, cavalry arrangements, and you have to go, do ruck marches at, 4 in the morning. You have to wake up at 4 in the morning, too, and then sometimes you just, you have to go to work. You leave at 11 p.m. at night. And then, you have to get 4 hours of sleep, then you go back and you do a ruck march or two, you do some shooting, or you're staying up all night while everyone else is asleep and doing, fire watch, and making sure nothing bad happens. That's, terrible, isn't it? But that's your job as a Cav Scout. You have to suffer like everyone else that's a combat MOS, but hey, that's the cost of being a scout, man. If you can't handle it, then you're not a scout. If you ain't Cav, you ain't shit. Third, we have the opportunities when you get out. There's little to none. You get mall cop, and then also you have PMC, which I would highly not recommend because you're going to die in Iraq for a company, not a real country, a company. So there's very little actual things for cavalry. If you're a cavalry, like my dad's cavalry, and he gets emails from Blackwater every day, stuff like that. Yeah, there's barely any other things that don't relate to law enforcement or they relate to combat-wise. So you have very little options, man. You just have to, get out the Army while you're a Cav Scout. Either a contract or your retirement, and retirement pays you a lot. So if you're part of the new retirement plan, you can save 20% of your earnings from, your monthly pay into your retirement. And over 20 years, that turns into literally $6 million. So you're gonna be a millionaire when you get out if you're like any MOS and you just invest that much money in your monthly pay into your retirement. Or if you're in the old retirement, then you just get paid, like, you still get paid the normal amount that you used to, even if you're not in the Army anymore. Kind of sucks, but hey, that's retirement for the. I mean, I guess you're getting paid for nothing though, for 20 years of your blood, sweat, and tears. Pretty good. It's still retirement, but yeah, that's the living conditions and the opportunities, and also what they do. And that's kind of the end of the video. But hey, that's being a Cal Scout.